In 2008, it all changed. You might have noticed that we have been bouncing back and forth between single producer and co-op coffees. I know you've been asking why. It's because you are coffee curious and you want to know what goes into that cup. So, we're going to talk about it. Back in 2008, Ethiopia announced that they were setting up a new way that they were going to handle their exports. They set up what they called an Ethiopia Commodities Exchange, or ECX. Wikipedia says it was set up to ensure the development of an efficient modern trading system that would protect the rights and benefits of sellers, buyers, intermediaries, and the general public. Though the talk on the streets of Addis when pertaining to coffee was that there were some large players holding back the sale of their coffee, waiting for more favourable markets. Now, on the surface, you might be thinking, well, that doesn't seem too bad. Sure, hold back coffee until the prices go up a bit and then sell it. But at the time, coffee accounted for at least half of Ethiopia's GDP, and for players to simply hold back, it was literally holding the entire country at ransom. You see, money needed to get back into the economy and into the hands of those people working in the sector. The exchange was successful in speeding up the sale of coffee, and that meant that money was getting into the country quicker. Think plus 1 day from moment of trade. That meant the premiums that were due were going back to the communities sooner rather than later. A good thing. Now you're thinking, but Deaton, why are you going to great lengths here? What does this have to do with single farmer versus co-ops? Well, I'm about to get to that. In another bid to stamp out corruption, the ECX took away our abilities to trace the coffees back to the producer. Part of this was so that when the coffee was exiting the exchange, we would bid on the coffees and feasibly it would fetch a higher price when coffees were notoriously bad. This caused an uproar in America. I remember it clearly, the conversations going throughout the specialty coffee industry claiming that this would ruin direct trade and all the work and effort that we had gone into thus far to make the initiative work. Now, where there's a will, there's a way. There were some clever people on the ground who figured out how to trace coffees through the exchange, but this really only led us back to as far as the co-op, and co-ops and their memberships could range from the couple of hundreds to the couple of thousands of members, so traceability was all but lost. This meant for years all that we could talk about were the washing stations and the co-ops when referring to Ethiopia coffees. For the co-ops, it is set up kind of like this. A small farmland owner brings his ripest cherries to a weighing station, which is somewhere near or in the washing station, and it is weighed, and immediately the farmer is given some money for his day's pickings. Then the coffees would be taken to the washing station, mixed in with similar graded coffees, and be processed for sale. Now, I'm not going into processing. That would just blow out this already long video, so we'll save that for another day. Once that coffee has been sold through the exchange, the premiums that are above and beyond that original sale price of that cherry are distributed amongst the producers, or the co-op and its members would vote on how the funds and the premiums should be spent on things like infrastructure or health and well-being initiatives. Fast forward to 2018 and the exchange is going along swimmingly and everything is just working fine. Though we've continued pressure for more traceability, the exchange has actually pivoted a little bit and allowed for purchases from single producers. Huzzah! Says the specialty coffee industry. The sale can be as small as one bag, but usually the single producer has to have his own privately run washing station or wet mill. This is kind of cool. I've seen direct trade work well, and I've seen producers prosper, and usually that means the community is lifted a little bit along with that farmer as well. So there you go. There's a little bit of a history lesson for you, and now you might know one or two things more about what goes into that cup of coffee than what you did just a few minutes ago. Thanks for staying the whole video. You're still here, right? You're still here? As always, be safe out there, kids.